Welcome to this Sellerbility video. Today I'm going to help sharpen your use of the new Chrome extension. Now there are a couple of these points that I did mention in the initial tutorial video, but I thought I'd do this video just to make the experience for you as smooth as possible and to help make sure you know exactly what you're doing when you are doing things like tagging a website. Now, first off, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about this by extension section. So this is where you can see items that you have added via the extension. And you want to make sure that the only map by me toggle is on. It's automatically toggled this way, so you won't really have to worry about this. But if it is off, all these are the sites here, if you're wondering, are the websites that are in the by retailer section, so are actually added into Sellerbility. If you just want to see what you've added via the extension, you need this toggle on. And just like with the retail stores, you can mark a store that you've added as a favorite as well, no differently, and you can toggle on the show only favorites to see just those. Now, because it's been added via the extension and it isn't actually integrated as part of Sellerbility, you won't be able to initiate a scan from this website in the same way that you would do for all of the stores in the by retailer section. And that is because those stores have been added in a different way by the development team, and a bunch of background barriers that all of these websites have been overcome, and that's why those stores are in the by retailer section. That's why they do work in that way. However, with websites that you've added, the way that Sellerbility will be able to do the scan is if it is first able to collect the items from the website, which is why the extension will run through all of the product pages once you've mapped them to collect all of those items, and then it will start matching them with those items if they exist on Amazon, and will of course do that analysis of them and give you all of the results as normal. Websites have got a bunch of things in the background that are quite technical and complicated, and our development team are going to be having a look at the most popular stores that have been added via the extension every so often, so that way those that have been added the most by users using the extension, we will aim to add in those top stores where most people using the extension have added them in. So we'll take a look at that percentage and then work on adding them into the retailer section and overcome those additional barriers, so that way you can scan from within Sellerbility. But using the extension, if you tap the icon, it will take you through to that store, so you can go ahead and start scanning away with the extension. Now, on this note, what I want to show you is the most ideal way to tag a website. Now, I'll have to go ahead and re-tag this one in a moment, but let me give you a few tips. Obviously, what's quite nice as well is that there's a sale on this website at the moment, so I don't know if any of you get some of your products from Mankind. There you are. Also, there's a 10% off thing here. What's that? 10% off your order. Subscribe for 10% off your first order. That's nice. Cool. Awesome. What we want is to find somewhere on the website where we can see pretty much everything that they have. So sometimes this might be an all products page. It might be all categories, and this will have all of the products on the website, I believe. Where's the pages? There we are. Yep. So 2,760. That sounds about right for me. To me. So yeah, this will be everything on the website. So what you are looking for is an all products, all categories, just a part of the website that shows all of the products, and it's not limited and divided up by something like a category or like a brand or something like that. You just want to have somewhere on the website where you can see pretty much everything that they have. And this is important because if you are mapping the website and say you've limited yourself to a specific brand or a category, then obviously it's only going to be looking through those pages, and you're not getting the full extent of the website. So my advice to you is to go onto a shop all and all categories, all products, whatever you can find on that website that shows everything. Okay, that is how you're going to get the scan through the entirety of the site, which is the best way to do it, because obviously you're casting your net nice and wide over everything that they have and seeing what's a deal, just like the stores that are already in Sellerbility. So that would be my advice to you for doing that. Okay. Now let's go ahead and retag. Let's go ahead and retag. So product title. All of this is fairly self-explanatory. I don't know what this website is now doing. Let's give this a refresh. Oh wait, no, it sorted itself. Okay, so select the product title, an image, select the price, and when you are looking at prices, what you want is the current price. So if it is on sale, you want this price right here. So you don't want the reduced one, you want this one. But obviously we need the price of this particular item and another product title. Now, just to make sure that Sellerbility is going to tag this in the best way possible, I'd recommend selecting a title from a different row or column. So somewhere different to where we are. So let's choose this one. It's a little bit further away. It's in a different column. So let's do that. And this will just help mapping be as accurate as it can possibly be. Now, for selecting the navigation, I'd advise that you do this, even though it says skip this step, which you could do. I'd recommend, just to ensure that the mapping runs as smooth as possible, to go with this step. And I would always advise that you tap the next page text. Sometimes on a website it's literally just an arrow to the right. So sometimes it'll be like this, where it says next, or it might say next page, or it might say more. You know, you want something like this instead of a page number. Now, the reasoning for this is because the next page button in any website is designed to keep on taking you to the next page, next page, next page. Now, if you set a number, it doesn't quite have that same functionality. So with this mapping and Sellerbility running through the website, it'll only be able to do, you know, maybe a couple of the pages before it's just not able to, because it doesn't have the same function as a next page button. So that's why I'd advise that you do use this instead of a page number. So everything here is mapped correctly to me. Always just have a little look through. When you see stuff like this, it could be that the item is sold out on the website. So, you know, that's fine. A lot of these look good to me. Let's continue, and it is then done. Now, another little tip for you, so the final tip for this, obviously we'll go ahead and start this scan. Let's say we have a membership discount and that gives us 10% off each time. You can add your discount in there and it will be acknowledged by Sellerbility when you go ahead and do the scan. So it'll work through all of the pages. Now, when it is doing this, it is scraping those items up page by page. This is the best and the quickest way that this sort of feature can work. And so in the meantime, you can go ahead and do something else. You can use the buy retailers section on Sellerbility, go ahead and do some admin, do some listing on Amazon, whatever it is that you want to do, and you can come back to this later. It will keep running in the background just so long as this page, this tab stays open. It will keep on scanning, and you can check back in on it and see when it is completely done. Or if you feel like it's gathered enough pages and you just want to go ahead and do your Sellerbility scan, you can then of course just come back in and complete the scan. If you want to pause it and come back to it and start the scan later, you can do that here. And if you just want to stop it completely, bin off this scan, you can use the bin icon right here. But those are a few tips and tricks to help you make the most of the Sellerbility extension and to help you map in the smoothest way possible.